कल्बों का तकाज़ा याद रहा नजरों का तकाज़ा भूल गया नजरों का तकाज़ा. TBR it is 90.4 FM in Durban, 105.6 FM in Peter Maritzburg. As we get up to 10 minutes now. Whew, I had to swallow the time because 10 minutes. That's all we have to discuss this hugely important subject. Absolutely. Now, our attorney is Brother Altaf Raouf, the director of a Durban-based law firm with a specialization in labor law, has his LLB degree obtained from UKZN, also specializing in criminal law and civil law, somewhat of a general legal eagle. He's in studio every Tuesday, around about this time, talking on subjects of importance to you and I, legal subjects to the general community. Now, in today's show, we're talking about parental alienation and the withholding of access to a child from a parent, usually in the context of a separation or a divorce. Altaf, assalamu alaikum, welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam, assalamu alaikum, listeners.
How are you doing this morning?
Alhamdulillah, how are you doing?
Not going to complain. Why are we dealing with this topic today?
So this is a topic that's becoming more and more prevalent and more relevant. It usually happens when there's a parent who moves out pending a possible separation or divorce. Mm-hmm. And this move is usually very unilateral, with the other parent having no say.
Right.
So usually it's a case of you come home from work and the other parent and the kids are gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened here?
Mm-hmm. What does parent alienation mean?
Okay, so parental alienation is essentially where one parent refuses the other parent access to the child. It could also happen when a parent talks down the other parent, meaning you say to the child, listen, your father or your mother doesn't provide for us, doesn't do this, I do everything, etc. And it could be done by either the mother to the father or the father to the mother. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no sort of gender-based restriction on this.
Mm-hmm. Why is this the wrong thing to do, Altaf?
Well, firstly, it's morally and ethically wrong. Mm. I mean, this other person is the other parent of the child. Mm. It took two people to make the child. Mm-hmm. I mean, why are you now wanting to cut this person out of the child's life? Now, in terms of the Children's Act, which is a South African act, sections 18 to 21 are actually very interesting reads.
Right.
So section 18 covers the rights and responsibilities of a parent. Mm-hmm. Section 19 is with specific reference to, I believe it's unmarried. No, section 19 is mothers. I think it's 20 is unmarried fathers and 21 is married fathers. I stand to be corrected on that. But if you fall within any of these categories and you want to have a specific look at it, just Google the Children's Act and have a look at sections 18 to 21. Like I said, that contains your specific rights and responsibilities of parents. Mm-hmm. And then more specifically deals with mothers, unmarried fathers, and married fathers. Now, if you as the other parent in this relationship or in this situation mm-hmm. choose to knowingly violate the rights and responsibilities contained in the sections, you potentially have some level of criminal liability. So you need to be careful about what you do and how you do it.
Mm. What are the reasons people usually give for doing something of this nature?
Now, you know, when something of this nature arises and you try to engage with the other party, usually certain allegations are raised. You know, one of the very common ones is that there's some sort of form of abuse, whether it's physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, etc. Another one that's often raised is that the partner or spouse who's being deprived has been cheating on the other partner. Substance abuse, so recreational drugs, alcohol, etc.
Yes.
And also lack of financial support. You know, there's this allegation raised that you don't provide for me, therefore why should I remain over here? So I'm taking the kids with me. And, you know, I'm currently dealing with one of these matters, and this person has raised all of these allegations.
Okay.
You know, you raised the allegation of a lack of financial support. But yet we have bank statements that show that the husband has deposited over 70,000 rand cash into her account over the past 12 months via EFTs. That's excluding the cash amounts.
Okay.
This person also claimed that the husband has never given me a birthday gift, but over the past 5 years we've got birthday trips to Margate, Drakensberg, Val Sports Resort, Sun City, Thailand, and yet you claiming this person doesn't provide you with certain things. Maybe I see things very differently, but we have clear evidence to dispute the allegation that you're raising. So it's clear that you're being vindictive in what you're doing, and you're further being vindictive by raising these false allegations, which we have genuine proof against, and which is when this matter goes to court, because it is going to court, you're going to be shown to be a liar.
So really quickly, if you're a parent and you have genuine concerns regarding the behavior of the other parent and want to restrict access to the children, what are your legal options?
So the only way for you to do this legally is via a court. You have two options in the courts. You have the children's court, which is a form of the magistrate's court, which is empowered to deal with matters regarding children and access to children. Alternatively, you can approach the High Court, which as part of its inherent jurisdiction has the position as the upper guardian of all minors. So if you want to restrict, if you want to cut off, etc., the only way to legally do this is via the courts. And I very much advise you, if you are in a position where you want to do this for whatever reason, have it done the legal way via the courts. Otherwise, it's going to come back to bite you at some point.
Now, if a listener is a victim of parental alienation, what are their options?
So the options are essentially the same. You can approach the children's court or you can approach the High Court. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you approach the children's court, you technically don't need an attorney.
Okay.
Right?
You do it yourself.
You could do it yourself, because when you go to the children's court, like if you fall under the Durban Central area, or rather the Durban Magisterial District, if you would fall under the New Point Branch Court. You go over there. In fact, no matter which court you go to the children's court section. They've got pro forma forms that they give you.
Okay.
So it's a form that's going to ask you for certain information, which is relevant to the case. You fill out the relevant information, and based on that form, will be placed before a magistrate and certain decisions can be made. The other option is to go to the High Court, which if you do, you will need an attorney. And it can become quite a costly exercise.
So last question, and very briefly, what are the costs and timeframes involved?
So, that question is sort of asking how long the piece of string, right? What I can tell you is this here. If you do go the children's court route, it's faster and it's cheaper.
Okay.
With the proviso that it is sometimes less effective. Because I have found that, no disrespect to magistrates, but I have found that magistrates often don't apply their mind as well to matters of this nature. This is coming from my personal experience. So it's my opinion. And if you go to High Court, the process is longer and more expensive. But personally, I feel that it is more effective. And just an idea of timelines. If you had to go to children's court today, you're very likely getting a date within the next three to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Which is...
So there is some sort of...
Essentially around the corner, yeah. Versus if you're going to High Court today, I believe Durban High Court is currently giving dates with the motion roll in September.
Wow.
Which is quite a bit down the line.
That's a bit of a wait.
It is a bit of a wait, unless you are bringing an urgent application, in which case you'd have to justify urgency to skip the roll.
Indeed.
But yeah, I do believe that the High Court in these matters provides a far better solution to these matters.
So if somebody wanted to ask you more questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Okay, my email address is altAAF@RAOOFLAW. Give it to you again, altAAF@RAOOFLAW. Might take a day or two, but I will get back to you.
Thank you very much, Altaf, as always. Very informative.
Pleasure as always. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. And that's it for the show today. If you've been watching the videos, thank you for paying attention on our social medias. We do appreciate it. You've got Facebook, you've got YouTube. Thank you for doing that at Radio Al Ansar. Tell your friends about it and they can watch all the various different shows at different times during the course of the day where we go live from studio. And of course, those videos remain on the platform. So if you're going to go to the office now and talk to somebody about this interview that we've just done with Altaf, they can go back onto our YouTube, onto our Facebook, and watch the interview again. So consumption on demand, basically. Go check it out on our socials. Naz, that's it for the show for today.
Be the best version of you.
Do good. Be good. Till tomorrow.
The courtesy of the Willow Tin Group.